¿Cómo anda Francisco, el Papa argentino? Qué felicidad.
Adelante.
Gracias, mi nieto.
¿Qué tal? Qué gusto.
Bueno.
November was a busy month for Pope Francis. He met with the presidents of the grandmothers of the Plaza de Mayo in the Vatican. It was a special meeting where she introduced her grandson, who went missing for years during Argentina's dictatorship. The Pope highlighted Ignacio Guido's courage in accepting the truth about his past and moving forward with his life. In November, he also welcomed another important visit, this time from the president of Peru, Ollanta Humala. Besides inviting him to visit Peru, Humala's wife gave him a cookbook. The Pope didn't confirm if he plans to visit Lima, but he did say he'll try their cuisine. That same month, 350 representatives from 14 religions gathered in the Vatican for an interreligious conference on marriage, specifically how marriage between a man and a woman influences people's lives and society. The Pope inaugurated the conference and said a decline in marriage leads to a decline in society.
Questa rivoluzione dei costumi e nella morale ha spesso sventolato la bandiera della libertà, fra virgolette, ma in realtà ha portato devastazione spirituale e materiale a innumerevoli esseri umani, specialmente ai più vulnerabili.
He also met with an important association of Italian doctors. In his speech, he denounced the false compassion used to justify abortion and euthanasia.
Il pensiero dominante propone a volte una falsa compassione, quella che ritiene sia un aiuto alla donna, favorire l'aborto, un atto di dignità, procurare l'eutanasia.
He took part in the International Conference on Nutrition, organized by the FAO, which is the UN's branch in charge of food. There, the Pope strongly criticized the economic speculation behind the food industry.
Duele constatar, además, que la lucha contra el hambre y la desnutrición se ve obstaculizada por la prioridad del mercado y por la preeminencia de la ganancia, que han reducido los alimentos a una mercancía cualquiera, sujeta a especulación, incluso financiera. Y mientras se habla de nuevos derechos, el hambriento está ahí, en la esquina de la calle.
He then described the political and economic pressures to reduce the availability of food, to then increase its price, as unacceptable. He also called for greater care of Mother Nature. The shortest papal trip in history also took place in November. During his trip to Strasbourg, Pope Francis visited the European Parliament and the Council of Europe for a few hours. The Pope even got to see an old friend from years ago, Elma Schmidt. The Pope stayed with her family roughly 30 years ago when he lived in Germany. In his speech, Pope Francis invited European leaders to leave the old, tired Europe behind and to revitalize it through family, employment, and the care of the most vulnerable, including migrants and the environment.
Intendo affermare la centralità della persona umana, altrimenti in balia delle mode e dei poteri del momento.
He even got a standing ovation, which is very unusual in the parliament, which represents more than 500 million people from various backgrounds. He also visited the Council of Europe, where he calls on the old continent to reclaim the values that once made it great.
All'Europa possiamo domandare: dov'è il tuo vigore? Dov'è quella tensione ideale che ha animato e reso grande la tua storia? Dov'è il tuo spirito di intraprendenza curiosa? Dov'è la tua sete di verità che hai finora comunicato al mondo con passione?
3 days later, he boarded a plane once again to travel to Turkey. And this trip was key as far as the relationship among Catholics, Muslims, and the Orthodox Church. Pope Francis met with the Turkish president at his new residence. He then traveled to Istanbul, where he visited the country's most important mosque, the Blue Mosque. Afterwards, the Pope took part in a tour offered by the Grand Mufti. Then they prayed together. Another moving moment was his meeting with the head of the Orthodox Church, Ecumenical Patriarch Bartholomew I. The Orthodox and Catholic Church separated in the year 1054. For centuries, their relationship was practically non-existent. The Pope visited the Church of St. George, which is the Orthodox equivalent of the Vatican, and there the Pope made a surprising request.
Vi chiedo un favore di benedire me e la Chiesa di Roma.
The next day, he attended the Divine Liturgy. He explained that he is open to reaching full unity between both churches.
Voglio assicurare a ciascuno di voi che per giungere alla meta sospirata della piena unità, la Chiesa Cattolica non intende imporre alcuna esigenza.
At the end of the visit, the Pope and the Patriarch symbolically gave a blessing together, a gesture meant to unite two Christian churches that have been divided for almost 10 centuries.